Hey watchers, it's your girl Big Ish. Thank you for watching Black People Watch. Welcome back to my channel. This week we're doing something a little different. Saturday, August 28th, we all got the terrible news that Chadwick Boseman had passed away and no one even realized that he was sick. So I'm doing a special edition of Black People Watch in honor to him. Stay tuned. Chadwick Aaron Boseman was born November 29th, 1976. He played in 42, the Jackie Robinson story. He also played James Brown in Get Up, and he's most famous for his portrayal of T'Challa in Black Panther. He played in 21 Bridges and also in The Five Bloods, which was just wonderful for me. I really enjoyed that story. I am a huge fan of Spike Lee, and I thought it was fantastic. One of my favorites right now. He has a film that's scheduled to be released. It's called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and that's going to be released on Netflix very shortly, I suppose. And again, like I said earlier, I found out because I was on the internet, just cruising around the internet like we all do on a Saturday night, and I was kind of bored, and I saw people on one of the stars live, and the star was talking about how devastated he was in regards to Chadwick's death, and he had just heard the news. I hadn't heard the news yet, so this was all news to me. And I didn't hear him say Chadwick. I just heard him say, this is a great loss for our people, 2020, throw it out. And everybody was saying this is just horrible. And I'm looking at the comments of people saying how terrible this is and everything that's going on. And I kept asking, what's going on? Can somebody tell me what's going on? And nobody really responded. So I just jumped off and I went and looked around on the internet, and I kept seeing pictures of Chadwick Boseman, pictures. Then I started putting two and two together. I went to his page and I saw what his family wrote in regards to his passing, or his transition, as I like to say. And, it was terrible. It was terrible news. I jumped on my phone and texted everyone I knew the article of him passing away. And we were just all in total disbelief. The fact that he was still acting while going through chemotherapy and surgeries was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, the strength that it took, and you never know what it's like to suffer through something unless you have it yourself. So I can't say that I know what it's like to suffer through cancer because I've never had it. However, my father had a liver transplant, and he did have liver cancer, and he survived it. He's still living, happy and well. Thank God for that. But he suffered. It was so much suffering. He lost so much weight. And now I'm just hearing about people saying that they noticed that Chadwick had lost weight. Now people are posting some interviews of Chadwick. Great interviews too. He's just an incredible speaker. He inspired so many, and it's so good to hear his voice and him inspire people still after he has transitioned. And you do now notice that he is very gaunt in some of the interviews and some of his pictures. He seems like he is kind of propped up a little bit in some pictures, and he is putting on a face. It does seem like that in some of his interviews and his pictures. And he's such a good actor. You just didn't notice. I didn't notice. There were people who did notice, I'm sure, super fans, and people who are very observant in that regard. I'm not one of those people. I'm just like, oh, hey, Chadwick, oh, he looks great, oh, T'Challa, and I move on. I'm not really that observant. Certain things I am, but in regards to people's looks, I don't pay that close of attention. When I was looking at the story of his life, and I just did a Wikipedia search of who he was, and he stuck out as the kind of man that fought for the rights of people no matter what. I know they said that Chadwick was studying to be a director. He had directed some short films, and he had directed some plays in the East Village. When Chadwick got the role of Jackie Robinson in 42, he had almost given up on acting. He had tried his hand at acting several times. He had did some short shows and a couple of shows here and there, they said when he moved to LA, he got a part in All My Children as Reggie. And he was concerned about the stereotype that was being written about his character and voiced it to producers, which ultimately led to him being fired. So even though he didn't have a huge part, he still spoke out about injustice. And they didn't like that, and they fired him. That role was filled by Michael B. Jordan. So it shows you how things come full circle, because he ended up playing opposite Michael B. Jordan in the Black Panther movie. So he started doing some small roles here and there and ended up directing an off-Broadway play in the East Village. And he was kind of settling in on being a director and felt that that might be his life. He had almost given up on acting when he accepted the role of Jackie Robinson in 42. So that just shows you the tenacity of this man. He had just, played some bit parts. He moved out to LA to see, try his hand at acting. He had studied. We also know that while he was a young man, Denzel Washington had paid for him and a few other people to go to school in England. And this was when he was in Howard University. And this was orchestrated by Felicia Rashad. She had reached out to Denzel Washington and let him know that there were some kids who had an opportunity to go to another country and learn some directing skills and better acting skills, and that they needed help financially because they were, poorer kids or middle class kids. And he just went ahead and paid for it. And that alone is just incredible. And to be able, and on Denzel's part, can we just have like a moment of silence for Denzel and him reaching out to people, so much so that he forgot when Chadwick addressed him and was able to thank him for helping him go to school. The story was really funny. And to hear Chadwick tell it, he said, "Oh, I see you owe me some money." And they both laughed, and it was really nice. But imagine being able to do so much good in the universe and so much good in the world that you actually forget that you paid for somebody to go to school. How inspiring is that? How soul satisfying is that? And to be able to say it and not even want anything in return is just incredible. And I'm sure Chadwick had the opportunity to pay it forward to others. And he did with his acting. Like, the role of T'Challa in the movie was like nothing I had ever seen or anyone had ever seen before. And I felt like I was so awe-inspired by it that before we realized how life-changing this movie was, I was just happy to see all Black and brown people in a movie, and just being their natural selves in this fictitious, wonderful country called Wakanda. And it really made you want to believe that a place like this truly exists, and that this is our home, maybe even the home of the Black Americans, because we don't have our history. And that's sad for all of us that we don't know our history. We don't know where we come from. Chadwick was able to do a DNA test and trace his ancestry back to Sierra Leone and a couple of other different places, which is amazing. But we still don't have the word of mouth history. We were stripped and robbed of our history, robbed of our culture. And Wakanda kind of gave us an imaginary homeland, shall we say. And we were all just in awe of it. And I remember one day I was going to the mall, and I seen a bus, 2 buses pull up full of seniors, full of all these Black seniors that were going to see. And it actually brought a tear to my eye, because these people were 30 years older than me, and they never seen Black people represented that way ever. And it touched my spirit, and I was just so happy for them. And they were like, this is my third, fourth time seeing the movie. When they were coming off the bus, I was like, where are you guys going? Like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're going to see Black Panther. They were so excited. And they were coming like from a senior facility or a senior or a nursing home or a senior facility. I want to say a senior facility where somebody had organized buses to come pick up these people, these Black people and white people, because there were white people on the bus too, but it looked primarily Black. I didn't think I was going to cry. Jeez. But they were so excited. I was like, and I love seniors. I worked in insurance and I just have an affinity for seniors. And when they got off the bus, they'll talk to anybody. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Where are you guys going? And they're like, we're going to see Black Panther. We're so excited. Chadwick Boseman, he's the Black Panther. And I've never seen nothing like this before. And it was everything to them. It was everything to us, but even more so to them, because it signified a change. No matter how big or how small, it was definitely a change. I'm just kind of rambling on about how I feel about this. But sometimes people in certain features can have such an impact on life. It can create a ripple in humanity. And that's what Black Panther did for us. And I'm not even going to say just for the American Black people, because I heard a man say that his wife was from Uganda and she was so proud of Black Panther. Not one curse word, not the N word said one time, insulted beyond belief. And it just shows that we don't have to be a certain way. We don't have to buy into certain stereotypes. We can be great and still sell. We don't have to be the hustler. We don't have to be the pimp. We don't have to be the prostitute. We don't have to be these things, and we can still sell. People are still interested in our story. And that's what this channel is all about. I just wanted to honor him today and how he's touched people. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more people coming forward about their story and how his life touched and affected them. If you believe in God or Jesus or whomever, or Muhammad, or whoever you go before or after you die, that they're saying good job to him, that his life was what we all want our lives to be, which is able to affect people positively. And that's what he did. In 42 and Get Up, his role in Black Panther affected so many people on so many levels in a positive way. You want to leave this earth thinking or believing or knowing that you changed somebody's life. Even if it's just one person, even if it's one person that you've affected in a positive way, you've done some good on this planet. I know that he's affected so many people in such a positive way in his role as T'Challa in Black Panther, and that his time on this earth was used for good. And so, yes, we shed a tear, but the Black Panther, the energy of the Black Panther, the spirit of the Black Panther can never die. It lives in all of us. We all felt it. We all felt it when we saw that movie. We all knew who we were. And I smile when I think of him, and I want you to too. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Sorry, this was just like, a rant and also a tribute to, it seems, I wish I had met him. I've never met him, but it seems to be just such a great guy. And I'm praying for his wife, his family, the people who loved him, his team, his support staff, people who worked with him day and night, people who worked with him as actors and co-actors that will miss him, miss his light, miss his energy, and miss his love. I'm giving you all my prayers and my warmest thoughts that you guys get through this and we're all able to look at his life and smile. Thanks again for watching Black People Watch. I wish you all a great, happy, joyous week. Peace and blessings. Bye.